Well, of course, then there was the FDA hearings, where the federal government came to Qube viewers to get their answers. And our own Mr. Qube Sumer, John Steinberg, hosted this first.
Since when do consumer people get clapped for? But we are here tonight for a really special event. What we have for you is the first ever two-way dialogue between the federal government in Washington and us. A novel approach, but a true approach. Tonight we're going to have a chance to tell the head of the Food and Drug Administration, Dr. Donald Kennedy, what changes we want in food labeling policy. He's come here from Washington because of his desire to be open with the people, to find out what they want, not to make decisions for us in Washington. For that reason, he's embarked on this nationwide campaign to make food labels more complete, open, and understandable. Please join me in welcoming the Food and Drug Administration Commissioner, Dr. Donald Kennedy.
John, good to see you.
Have a seat.
You bet.
You know, over the past weeks, we've been sending out this pamphlet to you. Pamphlets supplied to us by the Food and Drug Administration. That explains the 7 basic issues we will be covering tonight on which new regulations will be formulated. In addition, we have in our audience tonight a group of people that wanted to be here. Some have Qube, some do not, but we've decided to give them the opportunity, as time permits, to speak directly with Dr. Kennedy and our home viewers. Dr. Kennedy, you've been going to a number of cities, and I know you have one set of hearings left, I think, in Boston.
That's right. We've been to Wichita, to Little Rock, to San Francisco. We've held a hearing in Washington. We'll do the last ones in Boston. And then, of course, we have this marvelous opportunity to do a real experiment with people in their own homes.
This one is kind of different than from the others.
It's special because we can do a special thing. We can ask people to give us a thoughtful response. We can do it in real time. We can add them up, and then we can respond to that with other questions. And I think it's really a remarkable chance.
It is really a first-time chance ever for people to have direct input with the head of a federal agency, other than just coming individually and talking or petitioning you.
Well, I like to think it's special in that way. I think it wouldn't be an exaggeration to say, since our objective in these hearings is to approach people for their views and then to synthesize those and go to the Congress and ask for new legislation. I think it's fair to say that some of the viewers out there are about as close as anyone will ever get to being really involved in the making of a new law in this country.
Unless they get elected to Congress.
And that's possible.
Before we get started on our 7 issues, I'd like to introduce to all of you, and this is not a normal thing to do because someone decided to come here to film this for someone in New York, but I'd like to introduce America's consummate consumer, and that is Miss Betty Furness. And thank you so much for being here.
The privilege of co-hosting our big communications first with Rob Weller when we presented the Upper Arlington Town Meeting. And it certainly was a very important step towards opening up government for you.
Welcome to the first electronic public involvement meeting as the city of Upper Arlington plans its future.
This is actually the 3rd community meeting convened to consider the proposals recommended in the Old Arlington study.
But during tonight's meeting, you, the residents of Upper Arlington, can participate from home by using your Qube consoles as Channel P9 becomes a town meeting hall.
Through your involvement, you help determine which proposals will be discussed, the length of discussion, and when we move into a new area. Tonight, you're making history by participating in this bold electronic experiment.
Joining us now is a gentleman who confronted America with the future several years ago in his book entitled Future Shock. Alvin Toffler is here to comment on and observe tonight's activities.
What about utilizing a two-way communication? How do you foresee utilizing a two-way communication such as we're having here this evening involved in politics?
Well, I think that what's happening tonight is a historic event, a small-scale pilot experiment, but nevertheless a historic event, because I see the possible marriage of electronic technology and democracy, that it is going to be increasingly possible to find out what people think, to bring the ideas of ordinary citizens and the wisdom of ordinary citizens together with the opinions of experts and officials in new ways. And that what we're doing is extending the reach of democracy and bringing it into the 20th century, let alone the 21st. So I think that this is a really unique moment.
Based upon that, that understanding, I would like to ask, is Old Arlington a planned community, Susan?
All right, why don't we ask our viewers that are with us at home if they'll make sure they have their cubes handy. Is Old Arlington a planned community? Now, right now, we're going to be turning over to a normal mode, a voting mode for our computers. And so you'll be answering this question with your computer in the normal, regular way by touching button number 1 if you think that Old Arlington is a planned community, and button number 2 if you feel no, it's not a planned community, and button number 3, you just don't know. So get your cubes handy and touch in on this question, please. Button number 1 means yes, you think Old Arlington is a planned community. Button number 2, no, you don't think it is. And button number 3, you just don't know. And we're going to have a response in just a few seconds that we'll be able to turn over to you, Mr. Graff. We do have the results right now.
All right, and we have 66% say yes. Commissioner, that they do believe it is a planned community. 17% say no, and another 17% say that they don't.
Well, that was, in fact, an important experiment, but we also had fun with Qube and experimented with entertainment specials. You remember last December when we had the super psychic David Hoy show, and he tried some death-defying tricks.
On top of all of this mess of $half and adhesive tape, I'm going to put this mask of 9 thicknesses of cloth. And then, I think this is the hood here. On top of this, I'm going to place the hood. At this moment, sir, I would like for you, if you don't mind, to please pick up the bag. And is the bag still heavy, sir?
Yes, it is.
Do you still have the bag in your hand?
Yes, I do.
Would you take me by the hand and lead me over to the platform? And I would like to be right in front of it.
Okay.
All right, would you put my hand to the ladder? Is this the right side of the ladder? My right?
The right side as you look
Okay,
at it,
and so
yes.
there's got to be, wait, that feels crossbar. All right. I would like for you to ascend the ladder now. Now, when you get to the top, I want you to hold the bag at your waist, slowly lift it to your chin, and let it go. I'm going to turn around, and I'm going to try to get my third eye working. Now, sir, you are standing there. When you feel the urge, would you lift and drop? Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to notice that the $half are still in place, but the blindfold is still here. I would like for you to lead me back over so I could find my glasses, if you don't mind. Thank you very much.